Alright, it's Weapon Warrior today. A bit of a different list. Something you don't really see in ladder at all. This is something that I think was run around the time that the game first came out. It was somewhat popular for a little while. Lists kind of similar to this anyway. I think there were a few different variations. Some that were a little more board control. Some that were a little bit more face oriented. This is probably more towards the face side of things. Pretty aggressive. But once Zoo got kind of popular, I think that's what really pushed this out of any kind of place in the meta. It just kind of fell off. But I think it's actually a decent deck, and facing Druid here. Not sure if we want this Taskmaster. Probably not with the Leopard Gnome. Facing Druid here I think might show why this deck is actually somewhat decent in the meta. Not great draws here, but at least we got a 1-drop. And that's really just because it's got a lot of very fast damage that's hard to mitigate without taunts. And really, they're going to have to get to like 6 mana most of the time to taunt. You know, maybe they play Ascension or something like that. I think we want to do this. Boy. He probably hero powers the gnome. I think we just do this because we got the weaponsmith in hand. But yeah, you're just going to be pushing for damage real fast. You can do a little bit of board control stuff, right? Weapons are good for that. But it's not really required. It's not your #1 win condition or anything like that. Just pushing as much damage to face is generally, I'd say, what you want to do. So let's see how much Druid we hit. Like yesterday, we hit a ton of Druid. It was a little ridiculous, actually. Now, this is tough. 4-3 with charge is very good. But here we get 2 immediate damage. I'm going to go with this. But yeah, hitting on the Druid yesterday, I think that's kind of what we're hoping for today, and to dodge a bunch of Zoo. Rosie, what's up? Welcome back. Good to catch you at whatever ungodly hour you're awake when you should be studying. Taskmaster's fine here. I'm probably just gonna let him bump and hero power to kill if that's what he chooses to do. We'll see how he reacts to this. Not sure if we're gonna want to go Korkron or Weaponsmith here. That's Friday. That's true. That's true. It's Friday. I suppose students need a break sometimes too. I think we'll do this and Taskmaster. It's a little bit tempting. And then I think this is one of the few times we're actually going to deal with the board as well. It's a little bit tempting to save that to play on a charge and just get immediate damage, but I think this is fine as well. This is like an aggro warrior, very weapon heavy deck that we're running today. I think you'll kind of get the theme of it just from our little bit of playing here. Lots of charges. The Berserker is a little bit more durable, but I think the damage here is more relevant. We can draw into Mortal Strike, Heroic Strike, things like that. I think that's what it's called, Mortal. I think it's Mortal Strike, and that'll get around taunts and whatnot. Got a couple executes in the deck as well that could help out here. a little bit tough here as to what to do. He could play out swipes. I think I want to do that. And hero power and wait on the Berserker. Yeah, I think I'm going to wait on the Berserker. We might be able to beef it up a bit. Yeah, this is our biggest problem, is any kind of heal. Okay, and we're not drawing into much. It's very good here. Still able to get through the taunt. We can trade off here. Hopefully he doesn't have a swipe. Nice top deck since you got here. Yeah, it's you seem to be cursed somehow or something. I don't think there's any card draw in this deck at all, like not even a shield block or anything, so we are relying entirely on top decks at this point. We'll play this out. I think we just hit face with both of these. Getting him to 6 is alright, except that he can hero power back up. Again, Mortal Strike able to do 6 through taunts and everything. Carrying that curse through your whole life. Don't be so hard on yourself. It always feels that way. I mean, I'm 100% in the camp of, yeah, if there is some sort of karma or, you know, karmic system that exists in the world, I feel like it's not a fan of me anyway, but I'm sure that's just personal bias. Now we do die to combo here, but he used the 1 force of nature, so we're okay. Taking 5 damage. Oof. I don't think we can win here. I think Mortal Strike was our... yeah, our only answer. And even then, we're not even hurt enough. I think you gotta be less than 12? 9, 13. Yeah, we'll just, we'll end it here. Yeah, we should hope so anyway. You know, not that I'm, super spiritually in tune or anything like that, but yeah, let's hope. Yeah, very curious to see what kinds of matchups we're getting today. Okay. I think it's bad in both cases. So here's our Mortal Strike in the case of ooh, this is tough. In the case of Handlock, it's quite good. I think we're gonna get rid of them both. This is nice against Zoo. Upgrade you don't necessarily want to start with, you kinda wanna draw into. Yeah, this is alright. Believe in some kind of karma. Well, it's certainly not out of the realm of possibility. You're not alone in that kind of thinking. I always like watching you know, the Dr. K stuff where he talks about Eastern spirituality and practice and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of fascinating to hear his thoughts on karma and reincarnation and all that kind of stuff. I think here we'll just build a bit of a board. We can follow up Fiery War Axe and upgrade next turn is huge. Yeah, this is actually really nice. I played one game of this before I hopped on stream, and we were up against a rogue, and we just drew like the most ridiculous starting hand where we could get like a Fiery War Axe, coin, upgrade, Dread, Corsair on turn 2 or something like that. It was a little bit crazy. Kind of tough to say if we just want the Berserker out or if we want to start on our weapon. There's so many weapons in this deck that it's really nice to get started there, but I'm not sure how much we can beef this up. I guess we don't need this attack to be super high. So because of that, I'm actually going to do that. And I think if we just play this on any turn where we bump minions and this gets up to 4, then we're fine. Even if we just hit something with a weapon, it's like a 3-4. Yeah, that's probably alright. Okay, well we can just do weapons and Kor'kron, I think. Let me think. I guess I could... Does it matter? It really doesn't matter. Yeah, I think that's fine. He could Mortal Coil that, but not all decks are running Mortal Coil. Not all Zoo decks. Ooh. Could get the 1 and 3 knife, though. Of course he gets the 1 and 3 knife. How do we want to deal with that? We can't hit the whelps from Leroy, so I think this is just fine. We'll do that. We'll armor up. We'll like preserve the armor. We don't actually have shield slams, but he doesn't know that, so if we play to preserve the armor, it, I don't know, maybe changes the way that he plays. Oof. Not great. Still very close here. It's not bad, but it is not great. I think we actually do play a little bit of board control here as well. This is what I mean. You have a chance to do it, but it's preferable to go face if you can. But in this matchup, I think you have to do a little bit of board control stuff. Think about ways to improve the stream. Music and a deck tracker would be good additions. Don't know how you feel about it. At least a deck tracker would be good for VODs. I was certainly considering the deck tracker. Geez, this is crazy. I'm actually going to play these for board control. This is very bizarre. Yeah, the deck tracker I think I'm more into, or even not the tracker, but just the list itself. I've never played with the tracker. I don't know, a bit of a purist maybe. I feel like it's weird. I kind of like thinking about, you know, what's left in my deck and theirs and that kind of thing. Oh my god. Oh, that was not good. Sorry, that threw me off my train of thought. Yeah, I might do that. The music thing, the only concern I have with that is all the copyright crap that goes on, and I'm just kind of delving into it a bit now. I've had, actually on 2 videos now, though only one was audio-based. Copyright claims. And, you know, nothing's monetized at the moment, but it removes any opportunity for monetization going forward. And, yeah, I don't know. It's just, I don't know that it's too sustainable to do that. You can do, like, I think, like, Monster Cat music and stuff. Some of it's kind of copyright free, but yeah, maybe I'll look into the deck tracker for one of the coming streams. Try it out, see if I like it. Maybe get some feedback on it. If anyone posts comments to this or whatever, I'll see what their feedback is. And I just think about that stuff for other people could be quite discouraging. Oh, for like other people not following the deck tracker, you mean? Because I definitely get why people would want to, what do you call it? Why they would want to be able to track it, but yeah, I don't know. I think just for my own personal enjoyment, that's it. Well, we get to blast him in the face with that before we die. Yeah, and it's really not a like money thing now. It's more of a, and I think the copyright strikes, like, you do risk the chance of something being copyright heavy going forward and somebody actually like pursues it, but nobody's going to do it on like a tiny channel. But again, I think it's just more of establishing a kind of like a rhythm or like a consistent I don't know, feeling, vibe or whatever. Like usually when I play games, I just like the game sound more than I like music. But again, I'll keep it in mind. Like if other people start clamoring for it, it's kind of hard to ignore too. So I'll at least take this as kind of one vote in the yeah, add music to the stream category. And for sure, if other people want it, then yeah, why not? Yeah, I could probably find something like that would work too. And maybe that's something that I'll even just like try for a video or something. See what people think of it, what their feedback is on it. But yeah, I appreciate all the feedback anyway. Certainly open to it. I think we have to play this out against Hunter especially. Even though we're not getting much off the battle cry, 2-3 is kind of okay. Yeah, CSGO and music I think would be a little bit distracting. Like I do enjoy music sometimes. Just gonna bow it, I guess. But yeah, sometimes it makes me a lot worse at games. Like I would try with StarCraft 2 when I played that, and I think we actually want to be efficient and erase him. And it was really tough because like the unit alerts and like when you're getting attacked and stuff, it's like if you can't hear it, if you miss it, you're just at a huge disadvantage. I think we Arathi and trade into it. Ugh, do we? This is actually tough. I'm pretty sure we Arathi. He probably hits it with the bow, but do I force him to trade? What does he play on 4? Maybe I do force him to bump. We've got a decent amount of damage. Let's try it. I don't know that this is the correct line, but we're racing faster. If he hits there, he's at 17. Yeah, maybe this ends up being better. Wasn't expecting that. But luckily we have the execute, so I don't think we're punished too hard for it. Again, kind of tough. We can throw the Cork Run in or attack and weaponsmith. I think I'll Cork Run, and again, just force him to make the trade. Haven't played StarCraft, but yeah, a more chilled out atmosphere. And for a game like this, it might make sense. The Hearthstone music can probably feel like it's kind of droning on and on as well. But yeah, for sure, it could be like on a game-by-game basis as well. Okay, I do have to think here. 2 damage there, 2 there, and 4 there. It's 4, 8, 10. If something hits face... I think we're just gonna do this. We basically just need to draw 1 damage, and then I think we're good. Yeah, Hearthstone, you definitely don't need the sounds. I mean, you could replace that with anything. Absolutely. Yeah, maybe I'll do that then. Just based on your suggestion, I'll try a stream next time or something. Maybe I'll probably be on tomorrow. So maybe sometime tomorrow or something. Find some something that's not gonna get hit with a copyright strike. Give it a go. Yeah, gather feedback. See what people think. And if people are watching this, then yeah, comment on the VOD. Tell me what you like. He doesn't seem to have a good answer to this. This kind of looks like another Houndmaster, though, doesn't it? See what we draw into. This is not good. I think we're forced to do this. God, that or that. I guess you want to take out this then. And hope he has no damage, but that seems extremely unlikely. Not off to a great start with this deck. Yeah, no, and you know, it might be a good idea. We're in the early stages of things, so trying new stuff out, it's always good. If yeah, maybe I'll come around to it as well. I think that's the only thing, is I would just want to find you know, music that I can stand, because I know in lots of other streams that play music, I just don't actually like the music. Oh, there's his 2 damage. Alright, alright. Well, we had the 1 win off stream, 2 losses on stream. Not ready to give up on the deck just yet, but we'll see. Maybe it doesn't have a place in the meta, or maybe it needs some tweaks. Yeah, I really don't like the new DMCA rules. The whole thing's just kind of crazy. It's a really weird space, to be honest. I think we just want 1 of these. I really like having 1-drops in this deck, though. Just to kind of round stuff out. Yeah, it's a weird thing, because just generally in terms of copyright, you're... Actually, I have to think what I'm going to do before I say anything. Because I could actually coin War Axe. No, I don't think it's good here. I think we coin 2 1-drops. And I think we coin the 2 most durable ones. And the reason I don't want to rush this out is he probably just wraths it. anyway. But yeah, it's kind of a weird space because people are like playing games, and games have music, and like all that stuff is technically protected under copyright. You know, you don't, like, you can't resell a game, you can't repackage the music and profit off of it, nothing like that. And you know, that makes sense. That's how it should work. It should all be protected under copyright. But then it's this weird thing, games then get like free advertising from it. You know, people enjoy watching it. So I understand why they want to keep it alive, but I also understand why they want to keep it somewhat regulated. I'm kind of just praying he doesn't have a swipe here. But that's at least why we're trading off a bit. So yeah, it's weird, but I find the weirdest part to me is that there's a platform like, you know, Twitch in this case, or, you know, if you're streaming somewhere else on YouTube or whatever, that like they're fine profiting off of the showing of gameplay and that kind of thing, and having the music and everything like that, but then they're also building in all these automated systems to try to catch anything else that they could pick up on that would fall under that category of breaking copyright. So it's just, I don't know, it's just very strange to me. I'm actually going to do this and just smoke him in the face for maximum damage before he puts a taunt up. Yeah, it's actually really funny that you mentioned it. The VOD from yesterday. Ugh, this is so ugly, but we have to do it, I think. And then I think our win condition is 2 mortal strikes. The VOD from yesterday got hit with a copyright strike, and I was like, that's weird. Like, what is it? You know, there's no music in it or anything like that. And I said it was a visual copyright strike that, boy, this is... I'm just going to exit out of this game. Nice and quick. And they show you like the timestamp, the part of the video that it's in. They're like, yeah, this is when you had the copyright strike, and it was from it's a Korean company. It's like CJ E&M, I think it's called. They had like a StarCraft team and stuff. And the description of it is just the number 4. It's like, yeah, copyright strike on the number 4. And it's like, what is this? Like, what are they even dinging me for? What do they think is in the video? And so I disputed it. It doesn't matter, right? You just don't, you don't get to monetize the video. We really need 1-drops here. And yeah, so I disputed it, and like, you know, an hour later they came back and they're like, okay, there's nothing there for it. But, you know, if that was a video that I could monetize, if this was for my living kind of thing, and you get dinged with that, and they have like 30 days to respond to it, so they don't even have to respond to it for a long time. I don't know. It's just crazy to me. Get banned even if you purchase the rights. Yeah, that's right. That's right, because yeah, it's an automated system. They don't know that you've purchased the rights or anything like that. So the system's going to pick up on it, and then because it's all automated, they can go back later and try to fix it. They can try to like clean up their mistakes, but yeah, in general, that doesn't work for people. That's not how their revenue comes in. They need their revenue like right away. They can't have, you know, a day or two of not getting anything from their content. It's pretty messed up. Okay, this is going not too bad. This is where, again, I think we play board control a little bit more, and we can push face damage later. I think we want to hope to draw into an execute. I might actually just hold on to this weapon. We'll see what to... okay, I changed my mind, because we can just Taskmaster as well. Yeah, I think we just do this. Still not great swipe targets or anything. Hi, kitty. What? What? Yeah, my whiny cat's here. Okay, this is not bad either. We really don't mind taking damage to the face with this Mortal Strike, so no need to armor up here. Big streamers won't care much, but lots of the new talents are destroyed. Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest streamers probably don't care too much. I mean, they make most of their money off of donations anyway. But I know like a lot of them still make like a decent amount of revenue from things like YouTube or whatever. I would actually think the worst would be like a middle of the road streamer, because even a small streamer, it's like, okay, you can't play music, whatever, but even if they like destroyed your channel or something, it's like, okay, I could just start a new one or whatever. Show my cat on stream. Alright, when she comes back, I will my cat is gray and white. No, it is not gray and white. It's a what do they call it? Calico? Is that the type of cat? Anyway, I'll show it. I don't know cats very well as far as types, but yes, when she comes back, which she absolutely will because she's annoying, I will show you. I'm not going to use that upgrade. But yeah, the middle of the road streamers, I think it's the toughest because they're like pushing into streaming or content creation as a career, but they're maybe not there yet. Whereas, yeah, it's fine. You're taking the risk. It doesn't matter. As a very small streamer, and as a big streamer, you might have like Patreon and all these other things to fall back on. But I don't know. It sucks for everyone, to be honest. Don't know the types at all, but you love them. Yeah, I was always more of a dog person growing up. When I grew up, I always had like 2 dogs, 2 cats was kind of the typical bit, and we're getting swiped. Ugh. I feel like this deck sucks. I played one game off stream that made me so confident in it, and now I'm not loving it. I feel like loot hoarders are like a must in it. Okay, well, let's see what we can do here. As long as he doesn't like kill us with combo, and maybe we can Mortal Strike weapon his face. I don't know. Yeah, living by sponsors for big content creators. I mean, there's some of that. I don't know. If you look at the... Like, it really depends who you are. If you look at somebody like Crip, for example, right? He streams every night and then posts like one video to YouTube that's not like super edited, but is, you know, it's got like decent quality kind of stuff. But I think he's probably getting like 100, 200,000 views per video. Great, he's gonna knock me to 12, so we actually have a chance to top deck win here. Crap. Like, just that part of income would, like, that would be a crazy amount. If you look at the average, whatever it is, it's like $3 per 1,000 views. I think it's more based on time watched now, but, yeah, even just somewhere in that range, that's enough money to live off of. A modest life, anyway. Well, the fact that he can't... Oh, maybe he can kill us? What do we got? 7, 12, 14. Oh, okay. Never mind. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to add loot hoarders. I'm not sure there's anything else we could rely on card draw from. But let's make some tweaks. And I'm not sure what to cut either. Squire's okay. We haven't been getting our Dread Corsairs. And frothing. I could actually cut a weaponsmith and a squire, I think, for a couple loot hoarders. Oh, we got golds. Gotta get a gold in there. Let's try this. Watch time and money from ads. Yeah, it depends on location of fans, and so much of it is like hidden. I mean, I know people don't generally like to talk about like salaries and money and stuff like that anyway, but there's I think an even bigger taboo about talking about that stuff online. One, because a lot of these people make a lot of money, and you know that makes it kind of harder to talk about. But then the public perception is also oh good, we get one. Is also kind of just like you're doing the easiest thing in the world for money, so you have like no room to complain or anything like that. So I'm always fascinated by what those numbers actually are, but it's kind of tough to find what people actually make. Okay, we could have a really strong turn. This is more of what I was hoping. Oh, we got Cat back. Hi, Cat. Cat, you're gonna be famous. Hey, don't. What are you doing? Hey. Because we can do this. I'll probably save the other charge for a minion. Hey, come back here. Oh, yeah. Oh, poor girl. There we go. There's Kitty. There's Kitty. Yeah, little chunky kitty. She doesn't love being held, but she'll put up with it for a minute. There you go. Yeah, you can go. Sorry. Yeah, sorry. Alright, what do I play out here? Probably Golem because it's sticky. And then I'll chill on the weapon. Creators want to stay as low as possible because of how much they make for what they do. Yeah, I think there's something to that, and I kind of understand the hesitation to talk about it as well. Yeah, she is pretty thick. She's well, she's kind of interesting. So when we got her, she was too skinny, like underweight, you know, adopted cat off the street kind of thing. So we had to feed her, and I think well, maybe it's just in her genes. But it kind of seemed like it's one of those things where she didn't have enough food, and then she's given a home where, you know, you can eat as much food as you want kind of thing. And boy, did she ever take advantage of that. Still a little bit weak to Lightning Storm, but it's not too bad with these two. And so, yeah, we fed her. She got nice and plump, and then we had to cut back on her food and make her lose some weight. So she's actually lost a bunch of weight since she was at her highest. But part of it as well, as I think about this, I think I want the card draw. What do we have? 3, 5. And we're gonna get more damage off of this anyway. I'll finish my thought in a sec. Could swing with the weapon, hit there, and Taskmaster. It's a little weaker to Lightning Storm, but you get so much damage. Okay, I think I like that. Because this Berserker just gets huge. And then I'm going to keep those in hand for potential Lightning Storm. Yeah, we do kind of try to let her enjoy it. But part of it, like, she's only a year old. But she's given birth before, so some of the chunkiness is, well, some of it's very real, but some of it is just she's got like a bit of extra skin kind of hanging out in her belly. It's a little, you know. Shouldn't you have just hit Squire with face, because Golem was dead no matter what? Yes, you're correct. I should have. Unless I'll pretend to have done it strategically, and I'll say that I'm getting into Mortal Strike range, but which actually is kind of a valid strategy with this deck, but I was not thinking about that. Absolutely just pretending that I was. And if I really wanted that, I wouldn't be armoring up or anything. Yeah. Yeah, I can find excuses for all my bad play, but no, that was one of those things. Sometimes I misplay just by, it's like I know the first move that I want to do, but I'm not quite sure the second thing, and so I start like walking through the moves, and then sometimes I just completely miss the point of what I was trying to do. Now this is going to be tough to break through. I think you just throw all this out. There's not really a reason not to. Find excuses, yeah, in school. Yeah, that sounds like school, alright. Man, that is the largest value healing totem this guy could ask for. Finally take care of it. But yeah, we basically need 2 Mortal Strikes with the proc, or without, we'd still win. 14 cards. I mean, weapons here are not bad too. I don't run Brawl, no. It doesn't have anything over 4. Oh, of course, he rolls another. Son of a... Yikes. Is it possible? Technically. Man, I think we're dead here too. Well, I'm gonna stubbornly continue with this thing. Seems really weak. Yeah, it's not performing at all like I'd hope. I think part of the reason I want to keep going is I don't know what direction to take it. I don't know if I make it. Yeah, there's so much Druid, and my thought was that it would be good against Druid, but it just has not been. I don't know if I Murloc Paladin, sure. Yeah, I don't know if I want to make it more board control oriented or more aggressive. Something like, because when I started, I was considering why do I have all these weird graphics this game? I might have to reconnect. Give it a minute. Yeah, I was considering like Arcanite Reaper. Just some bigger stuff. Even a Grommash. Maybe we sometimes get to 8. Or a Reg. Alright, let's see. Hopefully it doesn't do the constant disconnect to reconnect thing. We'll do this. Oh, it is going to. Let's see. Do I have this one? Perfect. Let me do that. Kill it. And bring it back. Yeah, so early turns, so hopefully we didn't miss a full turn or anything. There we go. Okay. Making this guy wait. I have no idea what I'm doing. I actually think we want to coin this out and hit. Because if he hero powers that, it's going to buff this. And unless he innervates, he's not going to be able to swipe right away. Oh, well. There it is. Still not too bad. Certainly not good, though. Cat is back, sniffing around. Yeah, I've had that reconnect bug, or the disconnect reconnect thing happen 2 or 3 times now. Okay. Well, this is not horrible. He might just wrath that down. So you can get a card draw off of it and then run his dude in. If I can get a weapon here, this is fine. Yeah, it's ugly, but I think we have to. Don't think there's a deck except for Control Warrior that can compete. I certainly think Control Warrior is like a million times better than this deck. I would never, like, I don't think it matters how you build it. I don't think this is, going to be competitive in comparison. But I'm also fine with that. I don't think this is something that I plan on climbing with her. I'd expect to do all that well. I was hoping to do better than this, though. And I think I'm going to make some tweaks after this to make it a little bit more sustainable. Hey, come here. What? What, kitty? Yeah, I mean, this is just... not good. Yeah, I think when the list first came out, or at least the one that I used to play, it used to be a little bit more late game oriented. And then I think as time went on, there was a bit more of a shift. We're just gonna do it. A bit more of a shift to an aggressive style. And we could do that. Malagos Priest. I can't imagine Malagos Priest being good. What do you do? Like, we did. Yeah, how do you even make that work? Because you can Malagos and you can Holy Smite, but I can't think what else you would do. Alright, we're gonna tweak this thing. We're gonna try to make it not complete trash. Just moderate trash. First thing, draw a cat. And if we do this, that means these are going to be less important. Battle Rage is interesting. I do like Cold Lights, though. Just about Mind Blast. I feel like you would just play Velen if it's about Mind Blast. Like, I did that crappy Velen Mind Blast deck. It actually worked kind of okay. And that way you can at least get like 10 damage from Mind Blast, or 14 if you got Holy Smite on 10 mana. It's not the worst thing in the world. Not sure if we want Leroy if we do it this way. Not sure if we want Cruel Taskmaster. Mind Blast with Malygos and Velen? Well, if you could pull that off, yeah, you'd be just fine. But I mean, if you can stick either one of those on the board and have them live for a full turn, you're in really good shape then. Okay, if we do that, and then we go into some bigger weapons, and maybe Leroy has been terrible in this deck. Might be a good meme deck. Maybe. I don't know. Anything that that requires that those things live for a full turn, I cannot see that working. Hey, yeah, if you try it and you have any success with it, I'll give it a go. How about that? Do we want Worgen if we do this? I kind of want a Reg. We could have one Worgen. We get the one Weaponsmith. Let's try this. I feel like this is possible. We could actually win games. Set your mission for tomorrow? Good. Yeah, I just think the way that the Hearthstone's kind of built, you almost can't build a deck around playing any minion. Like, I can't think of a single one. Playing any minion and having it stick on the board and the next turn go do something. Like, the closest to that is like Gadgets in, but then you have to be able to conceal it right after. Hey, cat. Hi. I think we're just fishing for a 2-dropper, a War Axe or something. It's not horrible. Straight up bad, but for the memes, yeah, that's the thing. If you're doing a meme deck, I mean, it's just, it is what it is. Memes are fine. Okay, I think we go Harvest Golem. We don't want to play this until we need to. Unless we want to like gamble on getting better stuff in our hand. War Axe upgrade is also very good, but I think that can just come later. And now I'm comfortable swinging, because he's only got one weapon target. Hey, come on now. What? What? Yes, you're very cute. I don't mind that. Oh, your dad's birthday. Yeah, that's That kind of takes precedence over building a meme deck in Hearthstone, I think. Okay, he does have a whirlwind. You hate to see it. Do I swing at this thing? Yes. So we're gonna make him overdraw here. Well, I guess technically I should drop this first. Ah, good thing I did. I don't think we want to wait for this. We should actually do that. Then hit. See what he overdraws. Very good that he didn't get that, actually. God, there's still a mobile version. It's true. It's true. Depends how dedicated you want to be. You could probably still pull it off. Okay, and slams that. Well, that's not bad. Alright. Already so far, this just feels so much better. And we really hope he doesn't have Harrison Jones. Even though he'd overdraw like crazy, but it would still be worth it for him. Taskmaster or something? No, just armor up. Okay. Well, fine with that. We know he doesn't have another shield block. I think we do want to armor up. Like I said, sometimes you actually don't want to calculate for the Mortal Strike better, but... Oh, there it is. Still not the worst thing here. Okay, he's probably going up to 9. Probably going up to 9, so we would have to draw into lethal. Wondering what you think the weakest and strongest class is in Classic. Yeah, I think the weakest, without question, is Priest. I think Priest is just horrendous. I think it's like unplayable. It's so bad that that Mind Blast deck that I built, I think might actually be better than the standard control Priest even. And I think Paladin might be a close second. Oh hey, we actually have lethal. Look at this. Didn't even have to do that. Yeah, those have to be the weakest. Strongest, well, it's tough to say. It's probably... I want to say it's Warrior. It's good against, like I said, almost every matchup. And that's for sure like a control Warrior deck, not this crappy one. And I think if you play it at a high level, it can just be ridiculous. Okay, I don't mind this, because we start off looking like we're a control warrior, and then all of a sudden we start doing weird stuff after a couple turns. But I think Warlock is maybe a close second in strongest class, and that's with both Handlock and Zoo. I think that are good, but yeah, I would say they fall just behind Warrior. Okay, if I play that, oh, this is crazy. So we do that. This costs 0. This is a million attack, and then we smack him in the face. And then hopefully we cause him to overdraw with Cold Light. Okay, I think this is what was missing, is these Cold Lights, to actually make this viable. I'm not sure if the other changes were good or not. And it might not overdraw now, actually, with that Soulfire play. Let me think. 7 damage. So, well, he got rid of 1 Molten. I think the upgrade is just going to be better. Yeah, you're between Paladin and Priest for weakest, and strongest would be Warlock. Yeah, I think... I would for sure say Priest, like, with 100% confidence, is the weakest. I think Paladin's at least playable. You get like good board clears with equality, stuff like that. Let me think about this for a sec. I think I actually want to go through these with weapons, but I kind of want to draw more. We could get an execute here. I think we'll just do that, and I don't want to play out another minion because of Hellfire. But yeah, strongest being Warlock, it could be. You know, maybe I'm biased just because I think I'm better with Warrior personally, but I don't know. It just seems a little bit weak, even though the whole mechanic of like taking damage, building up cards in your hand it's still very strong. It's just always weak to burst, and that could be from like Shaman, could be from Hunter. Even goofy decks like this sometimes. So I can hit that, play these 2. I could hit that and charge. So he's got 1 Molten. He already used a Soulfire. I think we want to save the charge. We probably want to play Arcanite over Arathi. I think this is just going to be our best play. Yeah, Quality Consecrate, or with Pyromancer Equality. But you don't really have the follow-up except Tyrion. Yeah, so that's the thing. I think like Tyrion, Ragnaros, Alexstrasza, like all those things fit well into the deck. Curious what he's doing here. Hellfire, it almost looked like, but and then even stuff like Cairn, Sylvanas, you can put in if you want to be more control oriented. Yes, it is a Hellfire. We can't get lethal. We can bring him down to 3 if we want. Like I said, I know he's got 1 Molten. And then we would charge hit. Okay, I think this is fine. Because if he plays a Molten and taunts it, we can hit, charge in, and then kill him with 3. If he can taunt 2 things that we can't get through, we've still got the possibility of drawing into Mortal Strike before he can Jaraxxus or Alexstrasza and save himself. He's getting Mountain Giants anyway, okay. So bad with Warlock? Yeah. Hold on, I just gotta, you know, win the game real quick. Oh, okay. Tried Handlock, is pretty fun to play, but not as fun as Control Warrior. Although it could be even more valuable. That's kind of how I feel. I feel like it's not bad. It could be good. I see people playing it well, but I don't know. I think it's something about how you lose. Like, take that game, for instance. That probably was not fun at all for that guy. Because he's just like, what do I do? I don't know. I'm drawing cards. I have, like, no way to play around it. Because you're killing yourself. There's think I do want the upgrade. You're kind of killing yourself as the other person's doing a really good job of doing that as well. And it's like, alright, I guess I just lose. But it's very rare that I play Control Warrior and I feel like, oh, I was just totally outdrawn and I had no chance in that game. It definitely happens, but it's less likely, I feel like. Taskmaster. I think that's the play. It's really not that important to armor up with this deck. This doesn't reveal that we're super aggressive, and just the fact that he's like a very minion heavy deck, it's gonna be fine. He's only gonna have 1 mana this turn, his coming turn. So we've got a lot of choices. I mean, we could Heroic Strike. I don't like that, but we could actually make a 2/4 weapon, which is kind of juicy. I feel like, though, we play that out, and then this next turn, potentially make that weapon. Oh, Earthshock is actually pretty annoying for us. Oh, we can also just play this. That's fine, too. Yeah, I don't mind that. It's really frustrating playing Handlock and not drawing anything and just watching, yeah, Zoo or Face Hunter absolutely destroy you. That's exactly how I feel. That's actually why I prefer playing Zoo, is I feel like even if I lose or I make poor choices, whatever the thing is, I feel like I at least like played the start of the game and it didn't just play itself. I think I'm going to draw here. We could hit in Taskmaster. I would rather like double upgrade here. I actually think that that's really strong, and then we'll be able to follow up with the Blood Sail next turn as well. Yeah, this does just feel like an improvement on the list. Won a couple games. We'll see how this one goes. I don't feel amazing about it so far. I feel like this matchup should be okay, but I don't know if it's just he's playing well or we're not getting the draws, or I don't know. It just hasn't felt good so far. But I think we hit. Yeah. Yeah, so this isn't the greatest. I was considering maybe a Taskmaster and bumping this in or something. This is weak to Lightning Storm, but I took out the totem, so he's at least, it's a 1 in 4 to roll a spell power versus a 1 in 3. I think that's more important than the 2 damage, and he's probably got a Lightning Storm just because we've given him all this card draw. The thing for me is that if I play an aggro deck, I don't even feel bad losing because I feel like I should lose for doing so. You know what? I don't know. I think a lot of people feel similarly about aggro decks. Okay, I think this tells us he very likely does not have Lightning Storm, and so I think we just like push all kinds of damage here. Yeah, I think a lot of people feel that way, like, oh, there's no skill, or there's, I don't know, it's just like a crappy way to play. I think the more that I played this game, the more I started to kind of respect aggro decks and respect people who play them. Because I think they do play an important role in the game and in the meta. You start looking at some of those ridiculous combo decks. Like Freeze Mage here is like fine, but I remember when you started getting like that Emperor Thorison and some of those combos, like either that being like an OTK mage or like what was that one where you could like duplicate your sorcerer apprentices and they were Oh, I see. And he's hexing it. Yeah, and then you'd have like free cost fireballs and stuff. Like there's some really oppressive control decks that I started to be like, you know what, aggro's better. That was great. And yeah, they feel filthy. Nah, oh my god. Yeah, see, there we go. I think we found our first difference. Like I agree. I like the control oriented decks. And I think a lot of the classes we like to play are the same. But man, those kinds of decks I just thought were the stupidest thing. I hated them so much. And people who played them, like that was the filthy feeling for me. That was the worst. Okay, let's just hope he doesn't roll a taunt. He can take out one of these, and then he's going to find ways to deal with the other ones. There's a good chance he's got Argus or something, but we can still draw into Mortal Strike. Or even, oh, he's finally got the Lightning Storm. And he rolls high. Could get interesting here. Yeah, I think that Thorison card was like my least favorite. I do miss oh, this is very interesting. I do miss a lot of the cards that changed how you built decks, though. Like the like the cards that would be like, you know, Reno Jackson, or if your deck's full of odd cost cards, you know, you get some better hero power or whatever it is. I thought those things were really, really cool. Those are some of the few cards that I don't know. I thought were like a cool kind of improvement to the game. That's bad. That's real bad. Don't taunt. Okay, that's fine. Am I on a 2-turn clock or a 1-turn clock now? 6, 9, 11, 13, 14. Let's just win here. Yeah, easy. So this is why this is the best deck in the game. There, 3 in a row. We just needed some changes to this thing. Am I supposed to feel filthy because of that? Because this is a filthy aggro face deck? Maybe. Maybe. But I don't. Nah. I think that's the streamer bias, right? Yeah, warrior aggro's alright. Okay. I do feel like if you play an aggro deck that nobody else plays, right? Like if I... Which I still should do, is just build like a Murloc deck or something. I feel like if you win with a Murloc deck, you're just allowed to. Yeah, not as bad as you and Hunter. That's right. There's things to hate more. So, you know, don't hate the player, hate the game. There we go. Okay, I think Worgen is actually a nice turn 1 play here. He's at risk of getting hit by Fan of Knives at some point, so there's a good chance that I just swing face anyway. It's a little bit tough. I think the correct play is just Loot Hoarder, hit face. I don't want to coin the Frothing, because if he's got Backstab SI7, then that's just like the worst thing ever. Yeah, and then if he's like forced to hit here, that's not bad. I think the card draw is also really useful for us. Now what's unfortunate here, I say we can't play both of these. I actually think the correct play is this. You do want a bit of board control here. And we don't have too much high cost stuff, so coin's not all that valuable going forward. Look, he thinks it's incredible, so we must be doing something right. I already know Mage is, oh, that's your class, but Highlander Priest was your favorite. Oh, interesting. I don't know if I ever played that. Endless Satisfaction when you won a game with that. Interesting. Yeah, I can't even picture what that deck looked like. I think the only... Was it even Priest? Hey, come on now. You're so whiny. Yeah, no, the only sort of Priest deck that I remember kind of enjoying was it N'Zoth? The super, like, death rattle heavy one, and then he would, like, come and revive everything back. I thought that one was actually pretty fun. Ugh, this sucks too. I'm very tempted to just Mortal Strike. I think you do. We're not drawing well here, and I actually don't want to give this guy draws. See if he just got a gadgets in here anyway. No, he's still digging for it. That's the thing. Double frothing is probably going to be good here. I'm so tempted to swing with it. I don't know if it's correct to swing because there's a good chance that we play that next turn. But he's got so many 3 health things in this deck that I just can't bring myself to do it. Okay, it's not bad because it buffs the other one. Does he sap it though? No. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, if you still have it in your WoW collection, sure, send it. I'll at least take a look. I really don't want to give him draws, so I think I'm going to do this really goofy looking play. Right, I spend an execute on that, and then play this out. I have 8, 11, 13. I think that has to be correct with him not having gadgets in. Okay. Does dig for it. He's probably got like conceal and all the things that he needs. Actually very interested to see how this turn goes. I don't know if he's really got a plan, or yeah, if he's just what, 6, 8. I don't even have enough damage here. I actually don't have enough damage. This is crazy. Well, you still get a lot from doing this. I think Leroy. Six, 12, 18, 22. If he has Leroy double Shadow Step, we're probably just dead anyway. God, I don't know. I think the health is actually more important. But we could be dead. I wouldn't be shocked. Yeah, it's really too bad we had to throw that taunt away. I mean, maybe it was wrong to throw down the cold light, but I feel like digging for a bit more damage was the right move. Like an upgrade would have done it. Mortal Strike, Heroic Strike. He's got another fan? Oh, Blade Flurry, okay. This is crazy that he doesn't have it either. Shadow Step for the heal, wow. Wow, he has just had the worst draws. He's gotta be not really loving this right now. Just gonna play both these out. I mean, if he didn't have lethal last turn, decent chance he doesn't here. I don't know that 2 armor is gonna save us. And again, we actually need the damage. Okay, I just want to see how he does it. So is it 13, hero power, and eviscerate? Okay. Yikes. Yikes, I don't know if a hero power would have saved us there. Boy, we really should have won against those super ugly draws from this guy. Well, at least I feel like the deck is in a winnable position now. More Druid. I mean, Druid is another deck that I think is strong in the format. What is good here? Worgen is good. Harvest Golem is okay. I do like its stickiness. We need to at least throw one thing back. It's not great. It's huge if we can draw. Okay, good. Some kind of 2-drop. I think we actually really need our cold lights at some point as well. So same principle here. He doesn't want to hero power if he's got wild growth, but he might be forced to. Okay, this is all looking okay. This into these two is not bad either. Okay, some decision making here. Okay, I don't think we do this. This is not going to be the greatest like momentum swing, but it's going to play around swipe a lot better. If we drop that and we get swiped, it's a big issue. If you hit with that in swing and not the loot hoarder, again, super ugly swipe targets. Pretty much the perfect draw. Now we do have an option doing that and then frothing, but I think the upgrade Blood Sail Heroic Strike is better. Clear the taunt. We had a big nasty board. You can. It was wild. You're not wrong. Yes, you can Wrath, you can Swipe. Maybe both. But still, with the weapon and 2 Frothings in hand, we're not in terrible shape anyway. If he does that. Now, see if he, like, innervate hero powers? No. Okay, well, if he can't kill that, I mean, that is a big, big issue. Having the 2 frothings is a big deal as well. Because if he swipes one, he's just going to buff the shit out of the other one. I could have held on to the weapon for like an execute target. In case he's got like an Ancient of War or something like that. But I'm thinking even if he does some crazy board clear, I can probably bump with something. Hey, kitty. 3, 6, 8. Well, we just win. Thank you. Yeah, suddenly turning things around. It's kind of a fun deck to play once you actually get it right, actually. Not a ton of decision making. But I could actually see maybe this has the potential to climb at least at lower ranks. Like I said, I don't really know what the higher ranks look like in Classic. Like, you're playing lots of people with legend card backs and stuff, so I kind of assume that they're decent players anyway. Feels like they are. Ooh, do we want Cold Light? It's probably going to be a longer game than normal with all the armor, so I think it's good to keep that. And these are okay draws. Worgen would be the best. This is fine. It could get Taskmastered or War Axed, but or even that the next turn. Okay. But let's just go for all the card draw right off the bat. Start pushing damage. Now, a War Axe here would just be amazing. We get 2 draws for it. But no, any kind of weapon would be really nice. I'm not too concerned about his card draw, though. I'm concerned more about his armor. Oh, but do we take this out? Because then he does hit that. Maybe it's better to take that out. I mean, he's got so many cards anyway now that we played this, but this might help us push more damage or just take away a weapon swing or something like that. Your tracker can't copy it for some reason. You type it card by card. Oh, don't oh man, don't bother typing card by card. That would be crazy. More words than allowed on my channel. If you want, you could paste it in like a YouTube comment or something like that. That would that'd be fine. Or maybe like a Twitch DM. I don't know. I never send those. Maybe there's I didn't even realize I had a character limit in here. I guess there's one by default. But anything to keep you from doing it card by card, that just sounds like way too painful. This is a horrible hand. This is a truly horrible hand. And I think I actually want this instead of the Berserker, because I just have nothing to build it up with damage right away. And we just need weapons here. Wonder if a second weaponsmith is better than something that we're running here. We haven't needed the rag yet. Maybe this is the game. Haven't sent a Twitch DM in my life. I've been on Twitch for some years. Yeah, I don't think I have either. Actually, that's not true. I responded once to a giveaway. Alright, this is a bad brawl board, but with the Harvest Golem, I'm just going to chance it. So we'll trade this off anyway. Push some damage. Oh yeah, it's actually a good question too, because I'm only signed in to Twitch through OBS. I don't even think I'll get it here. Hey, come on, cat. Oh, you're so cute. Yeah, you are. Here, let me see. Let me actually sign in Chrome. And I'm guessing this guy doesn't have Brawl, because I would think he'd just play it right away. Shield slam on that. Okay, not great. But we do just have another one. I think that's fine. I think you just play it out. I'll armor up. Smack face some more. But yeah, we need weapons here. Yeah, let's see what happens here.
I have no time for games.
A Sylvanas. Well, he can't easily kill it. It does make a follow-up Brawl kind of scary. I don't even think we play this. I think we just keep pushing this face damage. I mean, if he lets us just beat the crap out of him, it's kind of fine with me. Okay. No, he's got his own frothing. Okay, this I don't mind though. Oh my god, Cat is going crazy in the background here. Because we can kill that off, we can execute this. The weaponsmith lets us play a couple cheap taunts and swing at his face. Seems good. Still like a decent Brawl target for him. Now, he doesn't know what's in our hand, but he might think that we've got more minions to flood the board with, which would, I think, work in our favor. Super interesting with that. Now he's running a Mortal Strike? What is going on? What is this? I think we save our Mortal Strike. Ah, do we though? Nah, we don't. Let's hit him back with the Mortal Strike. The mutual respect. And then we don't hit him because we don't want him at 12? I have no idea. I don't know what we're seeing here. Okay, Cold Light is huge. We've got 8 damage, 12 there, right? 4, 8, 12. So yeah, let's just draw. So now we don't have enough mana to push everything out, but we do have a lot of damage here. I think, though, we want to play the Taskmaster and the Worgen. Is that right? I'm just thinking, because we can push these two the following turn. Is there any reason to hit that? I don't know, this feels right. I have no idea if this guy's running Brock, I have no idea what the hell this guy's running anymore. Are we brawling? Whirlwind? No, it is a brawl. Interesting. I mean, we probably just win the game here. But do we... Oh my god, we don't even win the brawl. So we've got 8. Heroic Strike does win it. That's not it. I can't believe I'm doing this. But I think it's important to keep it there. Tried uploading it there. Oh, that looks like super virus. No, I'm just kidding. Let's see. Okay, yeah, I mean, it shows up. That's fine. That's, okay. Yeah, this sort of looks familiar. I recognize many of these cards. Oh, can we get our own rag and have a rag off? Son of a bitch. Alright, let's punch this thing. And then execute it. Yeah, okay. Okay, I'll leave this up and I'll build it and give it a whirl at some point. Have to jump over to wild to do it, but that's fine. Oh no, and he Strazed. This is all kinds of terrible. I can't believe we're losing to this. But I also just can't believe what I'm seeing. Him running Mortal Strike. I think it is just a standard control warrior, but with a couple tweaks. Okay, he's drawn a bunch. We did add reg to this deck, right? Like, I'm not crazy here. Okay, man. It's a game of Hearthstone. Let's chill a bit on the crushing thing. Just had your nostalgia trip. Well, I'm not sure exactly when I'll do it, but no, I mean, at some point I should jump over to Wild. Why not? It's been forever. All right. This guy can win. Fine. Okay, well that one was still close, I think. I still have faith. I don't think it's as bad as the Tempo Rogue deck that I made, but struggling to be over 500 at this point. I mean, we're definitely below it, but since the changes were at it, maybe 2 and 2, something like that. More Druid. What a surprise. Oh, well, there is the rag. He is in the deck. Whether he should be or not, I'm not so sure. I think that's good. You want something sticky and you don't want something that's going to get swiped real easy. And I like this. The only other thing I could use is a Dread Corsair, honestly. Play this and then that coin upgrade into Dread Corsair would be pretty much the best way to start the game.
The light protects me.
Okay, it's fine. There we go, the Dread Corsair. Played like 10 wild games to reach level 10 with Demon Hunter. Alright. So you can play duels. Oh yeah, I haven't really done duels. Playing a different game. Yeah, it probably does feel just crazy in I didn't disconnect, did I? This guy's just thinking about swinging. Yeah, it's probably absolutely crazy and wild. I have to imagine there's like a billion million different kinds of decks. Alright, let's do that, let's do that, let's do that, and then let's just smack them in the mouth. Okay, well, while we're in the business of calling cards, let's get a Cold Light Oracle. Yeah, there are. Yeah, I mean, there's just so many cards at this point, like, I know Wild is supposed to be Wild. I mean, that's the right. The name of the format makes sense, but it does make me wonder if they'd ever consider taking cards out of Wild at any point as well. Because I know they took a bunch out of Classic, out of the standard rotation. Gotta think what to do here. Because if we bump, he swipes here. If we just go face, he swipes, hits. If we hit. Like, I don't know if we're in the business of board control or face damage. I think we're in the business of face damage. 16's pretty low. We got a charge and another weapon in hand, plus a 4 attack axe. Swipes his whole turn. I don't know. Seems alright. Though it could be wrong. Okay, cool. It doesn't have swipe. Think of it this way, if you have decent results playing some old meme deck and Wild, could also lurk some new viewers. Yeah, I mean, I've thrown it out there a few times. I'm kind of down for whatever formats people want to watch. Because, yeah, I have fun with that kind of stuff too. I think we just pushed 10 damage as well. Like, I wouldn't mind doing it just to keep things fresh, and then, yeah, if people want to watch too, great. Throw one out every now and then. Like, I don't think, even if people were clamoring for it, I'm gonna guess that I wouldn't enjoy, like, trying to ladder up in Wild, for example, because you probably need a bunch of cards that I'd never even bothered to get. But yeah, even just playing at, like, low ranks, just whatever kind of sounds fun, I'm totally down for that. What is he innervating? Oh, okay. Perfect. Do we swing or do we... Yeah, I think we have to. You get less damage on face, but the body, I think, is more important. Okay, see what he's drawing. Oh, he's swiping face. Okay. So it turns out it might have been better to swing it face with the weapon there, but we're not punished for it. Cool. Are we 3-2 after the changes? I want to say we're 3-2. Maybe we're 3-3. There's probably more tweaks to make that could make this slightly better, but I don't know. Like taking out that Ragnaros, we've had 0 luck with it. Maybe that's the way to do it, but not sure. I'd probably have to play a lot more of this. So much Druid though. If you want to become a full-time streamer, you got to bait people to your channel somehow. I like the way that you put that. Typically either interesting personality, being pro, or interesting gameplay combined with clickbaits. Yeah, hold on. I'll get into that in a second here. I think we want the Loot Hoarder. It's like it's good cards, but it's just missing like a War Axe. Like if you just had a War Axe, this whole hand is like perfect. I'm gonna keep it because I think he could drop some big bodies, and if we just get, like, we might just play this patiently and then build up weapons, bodies, that kind of thing, instead of being super aggressive. And there's the War Axe. Is there any reason to coin? I don't think so, because I think you do that, coin that. Yeah. Okay, I think we're lucky. Yeah, so I mean the first part about that, the full-time streamer thing, his hand does seem sick. I think it's and there's our Arcanite Reaper. Okay, this is interesting. Yeah, the full-time streamer thing, I'm not really actually looking to be like a full-time streamer. Like right now I only stream like an hour or 2 a day kind of thing, push those VODs to YouTube. And honestly, I'm probably just going to keep it that way. What do we have here on 6? What? Well, this guy also has a sick hand. This is crazy. Okay, but now we've got something to contest it. Super weird game. Super weird. So yeah, not necessarily looking to be full-time. I want it to actually be sustainable. Like, those streamers who stream, like, just ungodly hours, like 8 to 12 hours a day, no vacations, all that. Like, I could never do that. I would never even try to achieve something like that. I don't know if I saved this. I don't think so, because I'm just going to Arcanite next turn. Hey, Grizzled Geezer. This game escalated quickly. Yes, this game escalated extremely quickly. Ramped up, if you will. Yeah, this is insane. I would have never expected something like this. Do I hit this with the Reaper? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna go back to answer your question in a bit. This is the first bit that I think I actually have to think a bit with. One thing that I'm considering is you just go face with the Reaper, and then he lowers your health, and you just try to win off of a Mortal Strike. Like, that's 16 damage from those, if you push these out after. I don't know, that just seems more entertaining, if I'm being honest. Let's do it. Let's try it. And yeah, welcome, Grizzled Geezer. Face and hope? Yeah. Well, we're gonna try it. See if we're punished. Like I said, it should at least be entertaining. Oh shit. That's 9 damage. Force of Nature completely kills this. Trade would be yours. That's both too slow, I guess. That looks like you were right. Yeah, trees plus Savage Roar. Thing is, he's already used 1 Innervate. He's not going to be on 9. I actually think... God, we're so dead, though. I think we have to play around Force of Nature, because he's got 15 and 16 with the hero power, so this would put us out of range by 1. But I think we're just kind of forced to play aggressive. But it might have just been a huge mistake to not take out the Black Knight. It's kind of looking like it. Anyway, the earlier comment. Yes, I don't want to be like a full-time streamer because I just don't think it's sustainable. But I want to be like a full-time game designer is kind of the idea. And then it's just building a community around that as well. So that's more how I want to draw people in. This is just kind of an additional piece to it. We've got to be dead though, right? I guess you have to Mortal Strike, execute. Oh, you can't even Korkron. Ugly, ugly, ugly. How much would that be? Yeah. Well, we'll pray that that we can somehow come out of this, but I think we're dead. Oh, really? You saw the subreddit? Yeah. Interesting. I didn't think anyone had even been to that yet. Yeah, so just Force of Nature, we're dead. Oh, and he's got the full combo. I think we were dead either way, no matter what we did, but I think the smarter play was to... Alright, you really want me to say well played. Smarter play was definitely to take out the Knight. Oh, saw the link from YouTube. I mean, that's the hope, that with that there's a bit of movement towards that kind of thing. But as well, at some point, we'll kind of see how much action, how much attention there is on that stuff. But I'm going to be, once the full game is released, because right now I've just got like a free version of artifacts out. It's the only thing that's available. Though the paid version is like basically done. It's just kind of some editing and cleanup at this point. I don't actually think we want to help with draw. I think we want to fight for early game cards. Yeah, I'm going to pay for a bunch of advertising for that. And hopefully that's a big draw. Going to actually try to like have some one-shots for like 4 to 5 hours. Maybe 3 to 4 hours or something on some bigger streams and see what attention that brings. Normally I would just play this out, but against Hunter I actually think it's better to armor up. Don't know anything about game design. Quite a bit out of the theme, but when I need a video editor, let you know. Yeah, I was not kidding about the fact that that I could need something like that in the future for sure. But yeah, even for game design stuff, like, man, I'm super out of the loop on it. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm basically trying to start a business from scratch, which I have done before, but not successfully. I think this is best, and then Taskmaster lets it die to bow, which I don't like, so I'm going to do this. Alright, I already swung. I think that's actually better. But yeah, like getting people interested in like a tabletop RPG, it's already like one of the smallest spaces ever. Any kind of like board game thing, there's just not a ton of money to begin with. And it's a super saturated market as well. This might be freezing trap. I'm okay with it being freezing or explosive. Okay, That's totally fine. And I also don't mind having 3 guys on the board. I probably won't go more than that for playing around Unleashed, though. It'd be great for some teasers for a start, see where it goes. About the same for you trying to start a business on your own. Yeah, I put out like some how-to videos on the on my YouTube, just for anyone who stumbles across them at the moment, but hopefully they're just kind of there for when I do start advertising and that kind of thing. People have a way to go about it, because quite honestly, people just don't like reading all that much, so asking people to learn rules from a book is a pretty big ask. But yeah, I'm actually going to be recording some gameplay and putting it up at some point as well, and we'll see. But for now, I'm just enjoying the streaming world. Actually, I mean, like I said before, it's just so much fun having people here to talk with while you game. There's something about it. I guess this would get picked up from a freezing trap anyway. I have to imagine it's explosive. It seems pretty obvious that it is. I'm gonna proc it now. I think it's fine. I'm gonna armor up, because I'll probably play both of these next turn. I think that's the right move. But yeah, and then as far as starting your own thing, like you're just talking video editing kind of stuff that you're hoping to get out there at some point. Okay, I know I'm gonna want to do this. Ooh, this is tough. He's played 1 Unleashed, so I don't mind putting this out. The card draw is a big deal. I think I do want that over armoring up. And I don't think there's much reason to bump this. Like, he might abuse of it. But I think pushing 2 damage is more important here. Arcane Shot, interesting. Don't see that run very often. Okay, so that is the abusive. Three, 5, 7. Perfect. 2 damage was relevant. Okay, and he conceives. Nice. Alright, so deck's falling back into favor with me. I think it's alright. I'd like to play something that's not Druid, though. I can't believe how much Druid I've been playing in the last 2 days. Man. It was nice to get the 1 Hunter there. Classic's a rough climb. Yeah, we were just talking about that the other day. Like, both me and Rosie have kind of gotten sucked into wanting to actually ladder more so than just play for like nostalgic times. And it is like you see people like, man, I'm down in gold. Not that I've played a ton or anything like that, but tons of people with like legend card backs, and just for the most part they seem to be pretty good players from what I can tell. So yeah, I don't know. Is it can take a couple months time? Do you know? This is the second time I've seen a Mana Wraith. The first time it was just hilarious, but this time it actually is kind of annoying. Good play. Yeah, do you know how long the seasons are? Because I was thinking, like, they used to be a month, right? But they've changed the whole ranking system since I I used to play, so figured it might be different at this point. Okay, this is just awesome. Doesn't actually matter if I upgrade now or after. Very nice. Can you imagine the same? Still month? Okay. Okay. Yeah, if it's a month, then I think when it does the reset, maybe I'll make a more concerted effort next season to actually hit Legend. Because I did it way back at like Nax time. That's when I first got it. Mistake was not playing any before the reset. So is that because it like improves? I was kind of speculating, grinding with no star bonus. Yeah, okay, so that is how it works. Because I was very confused at the start of the season. I was like, how the hell has anyone expected to climb? Like, this seems crazy. This is just like the most ridiculous grind. But then when it reset here, I was like, oh, okay, you're getting like 2 stars, 3 stars, whatever it is. That's a bit better, so. Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. Here's something about the rank system. Yeah, we're just talking about, well, one, like, how long it takes, and 2, just kind of exactly how it works, how they've changed it now. So you get bonus stars depending on how you finished the month before. Yeah, alright, that's what I had speculated, but thank you for confirming that. That makes a lot more sense, so. Yeah, next season I feel like I should be able to get back to, I don't know where it'll be, gold or platinum, or who knows, maybe diamond kind of quick, and then I can actually go ahead and make the effort to try to hit Legend, because, yeah, I don't know what it is, it's just, this game is so fun now. Yeah, I'm in the same boat, I think. Because it did reset at the start of this month. I think I was getting like 2 stars or something. I came from silver the couple days before it reset. And yeah, climbing was just, well, it still is very, very slow. But I think the good thing is a lot of people are in the same boat, right? Like a lot of people did the same thing that we did. So, so you still end up playing a decent number of good players, I think, which still keeps the game fun, but yeah, your rank doesn't really reflect how good you might be. I'm just debating if I want to smack this thing with my face, and I think I do, because I can still armor up. This is not very vulnerable to Lightning Storm, not without a spell power anyway. Yeah, Climb the first month is just brutal so far. I think there's just a few days when they released it. Something like that, yeah. Because I came back to the game for the first time in, like, I don't know, years. And at least that's all I did. I played for probably under a week. And then, yeah, reset right away. And it was like, oh, okay, here we are. Which seemed weird, but I guess they're just, nice, we get a win. I guess they're just aligning it with standard and wild as well, so makes sense. But yeah, the timing of it was strange. It's almost like they should have just released it the first of a month anyway. But at March 28th, okay, yeah, that sounds about right. So that would just be a few days. Very sad. Yeah, if you're rank 5 or 10 and then lose 3 to 5, I feel like that's almost any game now. I think I can't be very greedy against Hunter. I gotta throw a lot back. Yeah, like losing a lot in a row like that is, I don't know. I find even if it's not reflected in your rank, it's still just so demoralizing. Like I got into to HOTS for a while, Heroes of the Storm. I still go back to it every now and then. God, this is a tough one. I don't know if I coin this out, if I coin War Axe Hit, because because I can play it for 1 with the War Axe. I actually think you coin this out, which is a little bit weird. But yeah, I got into HOTS for a bit, and I would play like Quick Match, which is completely unranked, and even losing in that was just like enough to get me riled up, because it was a game that I started to get invested in. And I can actually play this out in that next turn. Yeah, so weird opener, but I feel like this is correct. Yesterday I went gold 5-1, 1-5. Oh, that's the worst. If you just backtrack all your progress. Standard wild, when you lose, it doesn't hurt as much because you get 10-star win bonus from previous legend. Oh yeah, I mean, if you're coming back from something like that, oh jeez, that would be a big adjustment. I can understand that frustration. Grinding 3 hours in Classic to end in the same rank. Yeah, it sounds about right. That's the other thing I find with Classic, coming back to it, is part of the reason why I love it. I love the card design of these early cards so much more, but I feel like there's a lot more balance, and like once people figured out the decks, there's a lot less room for like your own play to kind of carry you. Sometimes you are just going to lose based on like matchups or draws or whatever it is. And so, yeah, I would imagine, not that I've played like the most recent sets of Hearthstone, but with a wider variety, I would think it's probably easier for your gameplay to shine through. Whereas this is a set that's already come out once. Everyone's got like all the cards all the time. I don't know, getting the legend seems much tougher. I'm gonna assume that this is explosive. Oh, it's Snake Trap. I don't really want to give this up freely. And it's nice to get this on the board. I don't think I need to Heroic Strike. Let's do that. Does that mean you'll get from bronze to plat in like 5 games with 10 stars? That's what it sounds like, but that's what it would be if you hit like legend the previous season or diamond the previous season. So at some point you still got to do the grind, right? You kind of do the grind to get up high, and then you're punished less for it going forward. I don't know if punished is the right word, but less is expected of you. I don't like playing too much stuff out. This is a great Unleash the Hounds board, but I'm not sure that we can afford to play around it too much. You go up very fast. Okay, well that's good to know. And that's coming from what sounds like our resident standard legend player here in chat. So I'm just gonna have to trust your judgment on that. Now, if this is okay, if it was explosive trap, he's probably attacking the Corcron. It could be another snake trap. I think I want to test first. That's fine. I don't want to give him draws. He's got 7, 9, and a card in hand. Like, even with a kill command, it's 14. But can we erase? We hit for 4, and then we threaten with 8 next turn. 4, 8 is 12 with a Reaper. I don't think we're in a good spot, but I feel like we kind of have to do something like that. The one thing with losing the stars that I noticed with the newest ranking system is it doesn't seem like you can drop below a tier. Like, because I played the even more garbage version of this deck earlier, and it wouldn't let me drop out of gold, so. Oh yeah, yeah, share the link if you want. There shouldn't be any restrictions on links in here. What could we draw that saves us? We could draw a Mortal Strike. Is that our only win condition? Because we can't smack this thing with Heroic Strike. Like, you're just dead if you do that. An Execute as well. He's got 4, 7, 8, 10. God, so it'd have to be an Execute. I think it's our only line of winning. It's so bad to give him 2 cards, but nah, that's just it. Alright. We dead. Alright, I'm gonna check that link. Okay, I see. Gaining stars. Alright, so you can get like 10 or 11 times the number of stars. Okay, that's not bad. For this, I think this is a fine opener. Still want something else low curve. Perfect. Yeah, I see that, the gaining star stuff. Yeah, that doesn't seem too bad. The grind always felt, I would say like a little bit long to me in Hearthstone as compared to other stuff. You know, like StarCraft I played a lot of, and it kind of just sticks you back to where you were before. Do I want to upgrade in Bloodsail or just Frothing? He's on 3 mana. 3 mana with a coin. So we're probably looking at True Silver and possibly Consecrate. He could actually hit that and Consecrate. So I think no matter what, you're swinging at this. But if he's going to True Silver, it's going to be better for us. I know it looks goofy, but even if he True Silvers that, he's not getting the heal. I think the 6 damage is going to be very helpful in the matchup. Peacekeeper. Okay, that's not so bad though. Let's see, gotta catch you up. So you didn't play another game this month, you'd start next season with 4 stars. Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, humility. You do not see a lot of humility. And win streak will get you 14. Yeah, that's a pretty big jump. I think we do hit this. We still gotta deny card draw. And we get to buff this a little bit. Only thing we're really worried about now is some kind of equality, like Pyromancer, Coin Consecrate. Here it is. Ah, shucks. Okay. Well, I think we can recover. We don't care about hero power. I think we just swing face, and this might be the first time we actually get to see if Reg is worth it in this deck. Yeah, that's why it doesn't take long to get out of bronze, silver, gold. That makes sense. And yeah, like I said, if that's how kind of everyone's going about it in this new season, with like if a lot of people are coming back for Classic, then that's fine. Everyone's kind of in the same boat. It should be more competitive next season anyway, as everyone has the star bonus carried over. Tyrion. Okay. Well, I think I do put my faith in Ragnaros. It actually could be good. Ugh, that's not good. Yeah, it does feel really, really slow at the moment. I definitely feel it, but no, that is encouraging. Okay, it's not a bad draw. Now, I think we hit this recruit. It's potentially going to enable 2 damage anyway. We do want the draw off of it. But I'm also a little bit worried about like a Blessing of Kings or something like that. Oh, we are just getting bodied here. We could gamble by not executing this thing, but I don't know what we'd be saving it for, really. I'll not swing for an upgrade, but I mean, I think we're just dead. I don't have a lot of faith in... yeah, don't have a lot of faith in this at all. Can't even think what we would draw. It'd have to be like a Cold Light Oracle into other answers. I guess we'd hit this. Yeah, 6, 8, no. Dang. I think we're back around that 50%. Maybe we dipped below 50% now. It's alright, queue up another. Yeah, for some reason it's still fun playing with this deck just because it's different. Like, I don't see anybody else playing anything even close. Do I watch ice hockey by any chance? I don't, but I'm Canadian, so I'm very exposed to hockey. Like, I shouldn't off meta brilliance. Yeah, the most off meta way to die. I'm gonna gamble and keep this. Hope we get a War Axe. Yeah, so I've actually been to like hockey games in person. Great draw. But I don't like follow it on TV or anything. It's my complaint with hockey is that it's way too long of a season and they play way too many games. So I'm actually an NFL guy. That's kind of my thing. Love to see an NHL game live. Well, hey, if you ever make your way to Canada, I would happily bring you to an NHL game. They're not even that expensive. Okay, well, we do run the risk of some lightning storm shenanigans here. I think it's still worth pushing damage here. He can't even like totem lightning storm, so he'd have to like Yeah. Maybe he has coin, though. I actually can't remember. Yeah, he does have coin. So he is going to do it. He's got a high roll. You got a family in Vancouver, and that's why your dad's cheering for it? Oh, god damn it. Fuck. Alright. Did we hit this thing with the axe? Probably not. Oh, that was so bad. Yeah, it's like a 1 in 8. It's not that crazy. Yeah, I mean, I'm in Calgary, so it's all Calgary Flames stuff here, but my brother was out in BC for quite some time, and even though he's not a big hockey guy, you know, the bit of hockey stuff that he was exposed to out there makes him more of a Vancouver fan as well. I just gotta get some water in between turns. I'm coughing a bit here. Put this bag? Oh. Let me just bring you the bag. I didn't see anything. Alright. 8, 11, we've got 15. I think we just heroic strike this thing. I know he's got lots of taunts, so it might actually be worth using a mortal strike instead, but we got the other one anyway, so we kind of need it. A huge Kings fan, okay. How about you, Grizzled Geezer? You a hockey person? Man, guys, this is bad. I think if we lose this, I'm gonna change up decks. This is just too depressing. No EU teams because they supply for the Olympics. Yeah. Used to be, and you grew up playing. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna get out of this game. We're gonna move to, I don't know. Do you guys have a preference for class deck? I don't feel like more freeze mage, but I'm kind of up for anything else. Not in many years since the Red Wings run in the late 90s. Oh man, I remember all my classmates at the time. Play what I like. Man, I genuinely like almost all of these. Let's do some Druid. Let's be one of the bad guys for a bit. I haven't played much Druid. Oh, you played hockey in your early days too. Yeah, I never played hockey growing up. I like Hunter, but it isn't the best. Yeah, I got a goofy Hunter deck in here. But I don't mind Hunter. Hunter's fun. Do I want this Druid of the Claw with an Innervate? I know I want Wrath. Druid of the Claw is mean with Innervate. I'm going to keep it. Don't bother with Freeze. Yeah, I don't know. After yesterday's run, I'm done with Freeze for at least a few days. Okay, well next turn we can go crazy if we want. Wow. Okay, I'm going to get out the Drake. Because if he saps this, I want to at least get the card draw, and then I can Innervate Druid of the Claw next turn. And if he doesn't sap it, then just great. I also didn't want to just coin this, because you could just backstab it and kill it. It might be useful for an Edwin, but I kind of doubt it as well. Well, Hunter's in a bad spot in all 3 formats, is that right? Because, yeah, I'm only familiar with, well, classic and, you know, old, or, yeah, classic and old versions of standard. It wasn't so bad. Hey, it was fun. I actually enjoyed it. I just felt so out of my element playing it. No pun intended. That, yeah, I'm like, this just isn't my jam. Okay, and he's digging, so he probably doesn't have a gadget sand yet. I think we... He doesn't have that many cards, and he used 1 backstab. I'm going to be a little bit risky here and play this out. Even if he backstabs that, I'm okay with it, because it's 1 less card draw for the gadget sand. I was close to playing out Thalnos anyway. But yeah, if he swings and hits face at that, that is fine. A Shiv. Alright. We just gotta get rid of a prep for it. Wrath. I think we just go for a 4 damage Wrath. I do want the card draw, but you're getting the card draw off of Thalnos anyway. And it's just not clean to do it otherwise. Yeah, I think the only BGHable things, it would be Edwin if he gets big enough, but usually they're smart enough to make him a 6/6 anyway. And he doesn't have many cards, so I don't expect it. Or if they drop whatever the +4 attack thing is on like a gadget sand or something, but usually Cold Blood, that's the thing. But usually you're just kind of dead at that point anyway. Now that some of you... Oh, yeah. Hey, that's a great question. Several lists that don't run Edwin. Is that right? I feel like I only see Edwin stuff. This is interesting too. 3, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15. I mean, he picked up Leroy. Thing is, I was expecting like a Blade Flurry or something, so I feel like it's coming later. I feel like we get our damage now while we can, and we can throw up taunts and whatnot after. I just don't see how he could kill us with like 3 cards in that. Alright, I like this grizzled geezer guy that they can't play without it. Yes, that is how I feel. I hate the deck trackers. I don't mind it, like, because the point that that Rosie was making, and I feel like it's a pretty valid point, is that other people want to see that. They want to be able to pop into the stream and be like, oh, what deck are you playing? There's the list kind of thing. And so I would be okay with having the list there. And I think I might try that, but not the tracker itself. I don't like the card draws and all that kind of stuff. I don't want to do math here, but we do win. Yeah, and like secret tracker, and I hate the stuff that keeps track of like, oh, did we gotta restart? Maybe. Stuff that keeps track of like, you know, what card is the coin, how long has this been in their hand for, all that kind of stuff. Alright, I gotta reboot Hearthstone, it looks like. Just a minute here. But yeah, if you're running something different, it's nice to see. Yeah, and like we were doing a stupid kind of aggro warrior thing earlier, so I can definitely see the benefit of having the list off to the side. I might start doing that, just kind of like screen grab it and drop it over. Let's do some more Druid. not necessary for you. So what about the music thing? This is the other thing we were talking about. You know, you gotta avoid all those copyright strikes and things like that. But yeah, if there's just game sound versus copyright-free music in the background, do you have a preference? But you see a lot of people ask for the deck list. Yeah, even in one of my videos on YouTube so far, somebody's asked for a deck list. I don't think we want any of that. Do I have the Highlander saved so you can delete it? Yes, I've got it open on a tab here, so you can absolutely delete it. Music's meh. Yeah, with the restrictions, that's the thing. It's difficult. Like, I'm sure there is stuff out there that you can pull off, but yeah, even I had one person come in the other day and they asked for like it was like a parody song. They're like, "Oh, can you play this Hearthstone parody song?" And I was like, "Sure, why not?" And it's like copyright strike on YouTube, so. But you do like the game sounds. Yeah, I would at least need game sound. Music, I could do with or without. And it is game dependent as well. For something like this, I'm fine with music, but for other games, sometimes I just need the game sound. We could silence this. But then he's going to kill the 2-1. But then we do get the draw. I think actually just forcing one draw off of this is fine. Any damage we get now is probably relevant. Druid of the Claws. A wicked turn next play. Or a wicked play next turn. Interesting. Feels like he's getting ready for a whirlwind. Like maybe that's what he drew into. He's just okay taking the extra damage this turn. So he might like whirlwind execute. The only thing is then, do we want to charge versus taunt? Is 4 health damage different than 6? Honestly, I think the charge is better. I think the charge is much better. Is this my first stream? No, not my first stream. I've been streaming for about a month-ish, something like that. Oh, and thank you for the follow, by the way. I see that just popped up. Yeah, and so I just like tossing my VODs on YouTube, that kind of thing, and I think that's where at least the Hearthstone viewership's been picking up mostly, is people who've come over from YouTube. But I haven't been doing Hearthstone stuff for a super long time either. I was streaming I did some Diablo 2, did some Minion Masters, a bit of Cuphead, which I still want to finish actually. So still kind of feeling things out, but people have had the most interest in Hearthstone as far as YouTube views go, and now with Classic out, I'm actually just having a lot of fun. So okay, we can combo here. Just 14, 18, 20 damage. Oh, but is it worth it? So many lines of play. If we combo, we could take out the Black Knight, but then we got nothing on board. I actually just think this is going to be better for the card draw. Push face damage. We're building up even more pieces. If he hits there, there's a good chance I just keeper this. Like, I know I could hero power as well. Kind of annoying if it hits this. But this is totally fine. Just BGH that. Blast this guy. Did I just miss lethal? I just missed lethal. I could have just innervate comboed. So, so focused on. Yeah, that was really stupid. It's fine. We still just win here. Alright, I gotta sharpen up. Losing my edge here. Could even innervate swipe. Let's see. Yeah, I'm curious. You just scroll down, saw classic. Nice, nice. Don't like watching arena or battlegrounds. Battlegrounds I actually liked a while ago. I might get into it at some point again, but I haven't played it in a long time. Yeah, we were talking about Wild a bit too. Somewhat different from me. Found him on YouTube. And then the regular Wild streamers are gone. Hey, I'm happy to be your backup choice. That's fine. Yeah, it's kind of interesting talking about the discoverability on Twitch and stuff, because yeah, I don't even know where I'm gonna end up getting the most people. I'm gonna keep this in case it's a zoo. You say Wild's not that scary. But do people normally play stuff that's come out in the last in like the last couple of years, or is it actually like a good mix of stuff that came out like 4 or 5 years ago and now? I don't know what to do here. I don't know, Malfurion. I think I'm gonna hit this and just play Golem next turn. Prefer smaller streamers that interact. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad, and I'm glad that this is the kind of thing that you like. Because I'm the same as far as what I watch and what I'm hoping to get out of this as well. Like, I really don't I don't see a lot of appeal in having it be like super big and not being able to have that interaction. Even like as things grow, I hope things kind of stay small-ish and stay kind of like more community driven than just big and always focused on the game and crazy meme spam. Now this gets tough. I think, yeah. I think we just swipe this. Hit the knife juggler. It's not too bad. Okay, several good ones. A couple face hunter decks. Well, I think at some point here, like Rosie was showing me one Wild deck that he's kind of a fan of, and at some point I'll probably give it a go, see what's there. So if you got some lists that you like to play, especially ones that, like, I've got a bunch of cards and probably enough dust to craft some stuff. I would definitely check that out if you don't mind sharing. See what we get off of this. I don't know if we just innervate the Drake. It's almost tempting to get the Loot Hoarder and the Squire out, though. Like, Drake is fine, but to innervate it is... it's not really necessary. I'd rather get, like, a Druid of the Claw. Okay, only one legendary in Secret Mage. Yeah, I'm also not super concerned. I think if I go to Wild, I'm probably, who knows, maybe I'll get hooked on it, but I'm probably not gonna like try to grind that to Legend as much as as much as I'll be trying here in Classic. Oh, this gets juicy. I mean, Drake, Innervate, Power of the Wild is good, but Wrath is also so good. We got all this spell power and nothing to do with it. But we get to knock that off. You get the card draw. I think I do want this out. Just make these a little bit more survivable. I really don't mind. Take that out. And you do the standard and the wild climb? Yeah, that's crazy, man. That is wild. I think it's impressive to be able to climb both of those. Ran out of patience. Yeah, man. I don't know how you could. Uh-oh. I feel like this is a Doom card. Shit. Yeah, I don't know how you could climb in more than one format even. It's a pretty time-consuming thing. What do we got? 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. 19 technically. If we Wrath, I don't think there's anything we can draw. But we could Thalnos and hit this for 5. And try to clean everything else up. Let's just start working through it. God, maybe we just push damage. He's got 3. I think we do just push damage. It's gonna be tough though, because we can't get a full combo off next turn. Okay, and he is trading. Oh, double Savage Roar. Oh, we can still keep ourselves alive. So each one of these is 4, right? So yeah, you only got 14. Okay. Well, we'll blast that. Play that. Get our health. We can't clear anything, so you might as well. Hold on, he's got 3. We actually do take that out to play around Defender of Argus. We still died on like Abusive, Dark Iron Dwarf, Soulfire, Doomguard, tons of stuff, but that does save us from Argus. Yeah, playing casual wild. I mean, that's probably what I would end up doing, but I definitely see your point that you can still climb with all those other doable decks. I feel like we don't lose because we would have just so good that we've played around Argus. Look, we're the greatest players on the planet. Thanks, man. Okay, now this has to be lethal. Yes. Q can be a minute or 2 between games. Wow, that is actually pretty high. But I'd put up with it. It's not too bad. And the Kings just scored. Well, congrats on the Kings scoring. And Sotos, welcome back as well. My God, it is a party in here. 3 different colors of people chatting. I'm flattered. That means I just can't get off the stream tonight. Jeez. Yeah, all the different formats that's kind of, I mean, this is what brought me back to it, and then I've started being like, I think I'm just gonna throw that away. I've started being more interested in, like I said, Battlegrounds. I might go back to it. I might, yeah, I might go and check out Wild, all that kind of stuff. And then what I think the coolest part about it is when you're streaming and you get stuff like this, where, right, if you come in and you're like, oh man, I've got this cool Wild deck you should go and play, then that gets me excited to go play it. And then, you know, someone else is like, go play this in Classic or whatever. And it's just building off of each other's excitement. I'm a big fan. Fuck yeah, gay pride. Absolutely, man. Yeah, we'll just get the Drake out. It's nice to have that innervate if you can hold it for the combo and just burst them down super early, but I think this is just better. Well, we can deal with it. It's just a question of how. Does your deck have Tundra Yetis? No. You mean Chillwind Yeti, the 4/5? It does not have that. It also does not have Tundra Rhino, or whatever that card is. That's a hunter-only card anyway, isn't it? Yeah, it doesn't have Yetis. I think it's got Violet Teachers instead of Yetis. That's okay. Then I got confused because I thought Tundra Rhino was the Stampede and Kodo all of a sudden. God, I don't know. I guess Swipe is probably going to be better here. Really not sure. We could have Savage Roared because we had two. But there's always a chance of the super evil, like, combo double Savage Roar with Innervate play. We still got one more Innervate in the deck, so. Have you unlocked a Round 1 Yeti achievement? What is the Round 1 Yeti achievement? Because there's also this new achievement system and stuff, and I have no goddamn clue what's going on with that. A few beers in? Well, sounds like you're speaking Sotos' language, because I'm reading that as a few bears in. And, yeah, that's what you're talking about. Okay. Play a Yeti turn 1. Yeah, that's the power of this deck, isn't it? I think we'll just flood the board and maybe even go for like a really bursty thing. I don't know. Maybe we'll just wrath this down. I'm curious to see if he's gonna hit in Hellfire or yeah, Shadow Flame. Oh, you just have to play a Yeti on turn 1 as Druid. Oh, I see. Okay, I'm not gonna use that for the Wrath. That's pretty funny that they added that, because for sure I saw a lot of that as soon as I jumped into Classic. Some achievements for cards that get nerfed next week? Huh. Here's my problem. This is how, like, lazy I am. They give you free stuff in those achievements, and there's too much clicking. Because, like, I have a bunch of them for, like, oh, you win this many games with this class or that class or whatever. And there's so much clicking that I did like one of the pages and then gave up. So I have no idea what I'm gonna end up with.
I have no time for games.
Oof, no silences for that. But he can't kill it. I think we just go for the... Ah, jeez, no, because that's gonna let him kill it. As much as I would love the card draw, we can at least get the one card, push damage, and potentially win if he doesn't do something about it. Yeah, I really hope they don't touch Classic. I don't think that they would. yeah, there wouldn't be a need to, but I think the only question with what they would do with Classic is would they start like rolling in different expansions at any time, right? Like would they bring you back to, you know, Nax time and Blackrock Mountain and all that kind of stuff, which I think people might hotly debate. Shit, I don't know what to do here. Hi, cat's back. Wouldn't mind Nax time. Yeah, Hunter was ridiculous at Nax time. Boy. God, that's such a bad play. Okay, this is gonna look really bad, and it maybe is bad. I really want the card draw, and I really care about what this Sylvanas does. Yeah, I really don't want to give him anything. I have no idea what the correct line is there. Man, you're like 12 around next time? Jeez. You're making me feel old. Yeah, that's the thing. Then it's a question like how far would you push things? Do you start to then put in the patches that happen between there, right? Because like imagine you release Nax. Do you release Nax with the, you know, the unpatched Undertaker, or do you suddenly start to patch it up? Okay. You're not old, blindy boy. I'm not old. But I'm not, whatever that puts you at, like 18-ish. I'm not young, I guess. Yeah, because I would like, you know, Nax and that kind of stuff a little bit, but I'd also miss if they added Nax, then like not having the classic mode as well. And obviously it would be ridiculous to have like ladders of, you know, with each single expansion or anything like that. So I'm not sure what the answer is, but I would like to see a, I don't know, like a tavern brawl or something where you could build up all the cards up to a certain expansion or only including a certain expansion. That might actually be fun. King's got scored on. Who are they playing, by the way? 20. Okay. Well, I mean, 20 is still significantly younger than me, man. Okay, we've got double combo. We've got the Innervate to be really, really rude. What does that even come to? It's 14, 16, 18, 20. It's 22 with the double combo. Jeez. Oh, right. And you do get... Okay, we do win here, right? My math is correct. 14, 16, 18, 20, 22. Yeah. You just have to do it in the right order. God, this is so rude. No wonder everybody plays Druid on ladder. I don't think we've lost with it yet. Oh, the sharks. Okay. Yeah, that was brutal. I actually feel kind of bad about that. Yeah, I love the idea of tavern brawls, but lots of the tavern brawls that I've seen are just like not fun. I like the ones where they make you construct a deck with like some sort of restrictive parameters, but I've seen so many that are just like pick a class and like we'll give you the deck kind of thing. All right, the Druid mirror. Some Druid has to win today. Have you been double Shadow Step Leroy since coming back? Yeah, I've played the game for more than 2 days, so I've absolutely been double Shadow Step Leroy. I feel like that's like how I lose to Rogue 50% of the time. Which does bring me back to the classic copy past of what did they put in the patch notes? Like, we've decided to change Leroy because he created a game that's not fun or interactive, and yeah, good times. Yeah, I'm not even sure if I'll give Standard a go. I'll definitely give Wild a go, because I've got a bunch of other old cards, and the way Mr. Geezer here is talking about it, it's even getting me a little bit hyped up, a little excited for it. Oh my god, this guy is ramping hard. It's a weird hand. I think I just want the card draw off of this more than the spell power. Yeah, man, it's so crazy. Like, the idea of gold cards sounds so stupid to me. If you told me that on paper, that like, yeah, you could pay whatever it is 4 times as much to craft a golden card. But then when I look at it, it's like, oh my god, I want a deck full of these things. These are the greatest. Ugh, this is so ugly too. I almost want to silence this stupid thing. I could dig with these, but I don't know what I'm digging for. Like, hit and dig for a swipe. Let's see, but if I silence, he just swipes and totally wrecks me. Let's... this is all terrible. Let's just drop this. If he's got the swipe, he's got the swipe. But he's probably going to have to hit here either way. Only missing like Millhouse or Nat Pagel. Well, but I actually run Nat Pagel in my Shaman deck. I actually think it's still a good card. Okay, he's just gonna hero power it. A golden Millhouse is your second legendary? That's so depressing. That's so funny. I got super lucky. I think my first golden legendary was a Cairn, and it's still probably one of my only goldens. Alright, let's see what we get, but that might change things. Yeah, I like that. Let's just do that. Oh, but your first was a rag? Okay. Well, then you deserve a Millhouse. If your first is a rag, that goes back to our conversation on karma. That's what you deserve. Oh, second legendary ever. I see. Well, even at that point, that's like a disenchant, turn it into whatever you want kind of thing. So that's not that bad. I don't know if actually charging with that is better. But because we don't have any combo pieces, I don't think so. Not second golden legendary. I think I got that kind of luck. You never know. Some people just seem to have all the luck. That's what I've come to. My brother is one of those people. It's just like he can just like grab a random like lotto ticket and win money off of it just because he feels like that's what should happen that day. It's so bizarre. Cold outside. Yeah, it's a little chilly here too, I think, actually. We're at 9. Still have it, can't disenchant cards. I don't think I don't know if I disenchanted anything. Oh, actually, that's not true. I think I might have got... Was it a Tinkerer? I think I had a golden Tinkerer. The one that, like, randomly transforms shit. And then, when they nerfed him, I think I went ahead and got full dust value for that one. Perfect weather for a workout. Yeah, I mean, that's one way to take advantage of it. Absolutely. I'm just gonna blast this thing. I don't like him having minions. Hearthstone gave me the best drops in every other game. You get scammed. Oh my god, Dr. Boom in your first pack. Dr. 7. I couldn't stand that card. Oh my god. Disenchanted many. Golden Caligos and disenchanted it. Disenchanted Blade Master Samuro. Oh yeah, what's the deal with that? I saw that. They've got like a select few diamond cards. They actually look amazing. Like, just visually, I really like them. Can I have 2 more keepers? I really just need a Force of Nature. But it's probably a big ask. Might just be dead here, right? 14, 20, 22, 24. Could have Savage Roared to take one of these out, but I think we just lose our win condition if we do that. Cosmetic and people like shiny stuff, yeah. There, he did the math. Druid wins yet again. Still a 100% win rate for Druid. Yeah, they do look cool, and they're kind of like 3D, right? Like their little animation has them popping out of the card. I actually think it looks super slick, but yeah, I don't know. Not enough that I'm gonna jump back into standard or anything for him. Innervation is so good, though. Yeah, some people just love that stuff. They go crazy on cosmetics. And the other thing, too, is it's just kind of good for the ecosystem of a lot of games, right? You rely on people who have that kind of money, who want to spend it. And if they're injecting money into the game that you like, then, well, they're just going to keep making content, and you don't have to buy it. Well, if you love spending money for Blizzard, yeah, this is the game for you. Though it's more like Activision now, isn't it? I feel like there's just less and less Blizzard. Even because I'm so hyped about this Diablo 2 remaster, Resurrected. But even that, they like farmed it out to a different team to make. It's not even like Blizzard people making the game anymore. Getting whirlwinded. Okay. Interesting. I don't mind just keepering the 1/2. You also don't really have to. Yeah, I'm not sure if you have to. It's just that Violet Teacher's not great in this matchup. Because you get a bunch of tokens, but then you just get screwed by Brawl. This might be better to silence like a Sylvanas or a Karin or something. Just gonna play it a little slower. If it gave you like 6k dust, you'd consider it? Yeah, 6k dust would, that'd be pretty juicy. That'd be pretty hard to resist disenchanting anything. Ah, so he does get another card draw off of it. Damn. I just hope he can't deal one more damage. What did he get? The other Taskmaster? Because that would make me sad. Slam. Okay. Not the worst. We're still not in the business of flooding the board with 1/1s. Spells aren't too juicy here. I guess this is fine. Decent bodies, but we really just need to build up the combo potential here. Shield Slam's fine. That's annoying. Wonder if I Wrath that. Is the card draw worth it? You get a 1/1, you bump it and kill it. I don't hate it. Let's try, we'll see. Again, not a huge fan of having the 1/1 on the board, but it's fine. Opened a Golden Hogger a few days ago. Didn't disenchant, but if he's diamond, you do it in an instant. Yeah. Okay, there's that. Here's what I was talking about with the silence here. And then it's just a question of like, how? But how? I'm so tempted to innervate. Swipe. I'm gonna do it. So you get to trade off one of the 1/1s. It's a very brawlable board, but with the Harvest Golem, I'm kind of okay with it. And then 2 draws right after. Yeah, Smork is right. This is very smorkable. That's an alright win, too. That's kind of unfortunate. But honestly, armoring up was pretty good for him anyway. I think this is fine. Oof. Really mean now. Yeah, Hogger's one of those cards I always wanted to like. Like, just the theming of it's kind of cool. I like that it spawns all those little taunts. You just never, like, for the cost and the value you get out of it, I don't know, never really felt right. But they added him to HOTS as like one of the newest heroes, and he is easily my favorite character in HOTS. Okay, what do we have? We got 14, 21, 23, 25. Huh. Is right. 2, 4, 6, 9. Okay, I think we're gonna go face or no balls, you say. Well, I'm gonna go like half balls here. Hear me out. We do this, which is kind of vulnerable to Brawl. But then we do this. Trade that off. We got a decent board all of a sudden. And combo potential for next turn. This is like the Lance Armstrong. You got one ball. Okay, I think we're fine, right? 14, 16, 18, 21, 23. Half ball sounds good. Perfect. Nice. And Druid has just been ridiculously good for us today. And it's still fun to play. I do like winning a lot more than I like losing with crappy decks. Even if the crappy decks are fun and different. Gotta win every now and then. Grumpy cat. Here, she'll get into this box. I'll show you guys. This is super cute. So we got a Roomba. I don't know what I want to keep here though. Probably not that. Probably that. I feel like Keeper's not great in the mirror. Yeah, we got a Roomba, and then the box that the Roomba comes in is like this weird jagged cardboard box, and this is what my cat does with it. There we go. Cat, you're on TV. Oh, what? Yeah. Alright. Well, it's not a Yeti, but it's good. Ugh. Kings are losing 1-3, and it's 5 a.m. That is crazy. Well, yeah, appreciate you hanging out. Everyone else too. Man, this is wicked. Sorry your Kings are losing. But yeah, get some sleep. Enjoy your dad's birthday tomorrow, and yeah, we'll try to be on streaming tomorrow if you're able to make it. But yeah, have a good night. Alright, he's gonna innervate out his own jerk face here. Too bad. You can almost swipe this thing down, but I guess we just go for the card draw here. I'd be happy with the trade. Tomorrow's the first time this season you get to watch your son play lacrosse. Oh, that's wicked. I never, NCAA lifted regulations and they're allowing spectators. Man, so your son plays at like a college level? Because that's impressive. Wow. That's awesome. Yeah, I never, because like lacrosse is pretty big here in Canada. I guess if you're doing, if you're talking NCAA stuff, that's all gonna be in the States. So I never really got into it, but I think it's like unofficially, or sorry, like officially our national sport, even though like unofficially it's hockey. Do I charge this thing? Do I swipe it? Do I do nothing? I kind of want to charge it. Plays D-pole. I don't even know lacrosse positions. That's how out of it I am. But is that basically just like defenseman if you were to compare it to like soccer or something like that? Wife's got your whole day planned? Yeah, that sounds about right. But I mean, it's a big occasion. I can see why you got to plan around it. Makes sense. Okay, I think we just spam the board with shit. There's usually not a lot of BGH targets, if any, in these decks. There's like maybe a rag. And he's not even on rag turn. Cancel last... oh, sorry. They canceled the season last year. A couple games in due to COVID. I see. Sorry, I read that wrong. Oh, but you still get to watch via YouTube. Okay. Well, not the worst thing, I suppose. Sorry, I got thoughts on that. I'm wondering if I should Savage Roar this turn. It's like I want to play that out, but I don't want to trade two things into that. I think it's fine. I don't know if it's actually the best play. Seems alright. But it isn't the best. No sound, and they don't move the camera. Oh, yeah, that isn't optimal. Plus, I mean, just watching sports live is such a huge difference. But yeah, like I'm a big NFL guy, so like I saw the impact that COVID had on the NFL, and they had to like do a bunch of rescheduling and all that kind of stuff. And so I know, like, shit, that's why I should have saved that. So I know, like, NCAA football. Oh, well, the game is just bailing me out. I know that was a tough thing for them to coordinate too, because it's like hundreds of schools and teams, and you know, across multiple divisions, and yeah, I don't know how the hell they expect to do that. Plus, they can't come up with a strategy that's like right, unless the school itself is isolating as well. Like if they've sent everyone home, okay, that's fine. But what if they've got to play someone in a state where they haven't sent everyone home, and it's like you're running into all kinds of regulations that conflict, and it's just, man, that would have been tough. So I guess I understand why they canceled it, but that really, really is like shitty timing for your son to get into the sport. I think all this is good. Oh, it doesn't count last year for eligibility. Okay. Well, that's good. Yeah, I guess they'd have to do something like that, right? Otherwise, you'd have a whole year of people that are, you know, you get to the senior level, and then you're basically like a year's experience behind everyone else. And so, what is it like? Like if your kid's playing NCAA, like I know the path from college football to the NFL. Is there like a pretty big pro scene for lacrosse, or like a league that your son's hoping to make it to? Okay, I'm guessing it's explosive, but I think I actually want something on the board. 2 leagues, 1 indoor and 1 outdoor. Okay. Interesting. I don't like any of this. I'm just gonna play this out and chill. Okay, and they're like somewhat pro leagues, but he's got no desire to play for them. Alright, so it's more of like a, you know, do this, you get potentially a scholarship or whatever, play while you're in school, and then just do it for fun kind of thing. Because that's cool too. He's already played with some pros and tournaments. Man, that is crazy. That is like, I can see absolutely why your wife has now planned a full day around this. Man, I'm getting hyped just listening to it. hope it's not Snake Trap. That other guy was running Snake Trap. I'm gonna swing face. Freezing. The good league is a max salary of $14,000 per year. Oh boy. But you're lucky living where you do. A pro team close by and his coach is a pro player. Oh, I see. Yeah, that kind of helps if you can get that mentorship. Okay, this is gonna hurt. But we have to silence this thing. I see, and that's what got him into the tournament. Yeah, that is cool. That is very cool. Like, I only ever played sports up to high school, never went to the next level, but just like I went and played in some college stadiums, or like the pro stadiums, and then did some of the like training regiments and stuff to see if they wanted to scout you in that. And it's just, even just that, it's so noticeable, like how much more athletic you've got to be at that level. I see, and he actually got to play. Yeah, I mean, that's huge, right? Because I guess you'd assume, yeah, you're riding the bench most of the time. But that's extra impressive. Ranked 1 in his conference. Jesus. Well, it's too bad that the pro scene isn't too much of an interest to him, because it certainly sounds like he'd have the capability to do it if he wanted to. At least by the way you're talking about it. But you are his dad, so I mean, of course you're gonna be singing his praises. Oh yeah, the big ring. Yeah, those things are. You get a lot of attention if you wear those things around class, I'd imagine. Plus something like that, even like going into adulthood, that's just like, that's cool. Huh, but you don't want him to play, you want him to have fun and get a 4.0? 4.0, oh man. That's tall order. Well, I guess I don't know what he's taking. I don't know if it's still a pretty difficult degree for someone who's playing sports or whatever, but man, I know my time in university was like, there's no way I'm getting a 4.0. I just hated it so much. This is really bad. I don't even know if we... He's got 2/4 damage. I think you actually have to do this and hope you get a couple more turns. Being a college athlete as your stress level, it has to be insane. Like, I was just a lazy student who would like play video games and not go to class. If you added any kind of responsibility on top of that, like even if I had to work through it, because I had like enough scholarship money and then my parents helped out with the rest, that I didn't have to work during school, just the summers for like internship type things. Yeah, being a student athlete looks horrible. And yeah, and then at the moment too, that's right, if you're like, I assume they're still doing all the learning from home. Everyone I know here in Canada still is. Dorms locked down twice so far this year. I did read at least that in the States, what are the numbers? They've got like, is it 1/3 of all people have been vaccinated, or at least got their first shot, something like that. So at least it seems like lockdowns and stuff might be getting lifted somewhat soon. But yeah, Jesus, lockdown in campus. Whoa. Actually, it's funny. Hold on, let me read this. Got some classes he goes in person, but others are just online. Okay, that's interesting. But I was gonna say it's funny that you're talking about all this stuff. Just the other day, like earlier this week, I started watching. It's on Netflix. Last Chance U, I think it's called. All these community college football schools where people are trying to like make it to D1. And then eventually pros in a lot of cases. And yeah, it's like the student athlete life. How do they balance football and everything else? And it just looks awful. Right, yeah, and I guess before COVID there's actually stuff to do on campus. I did live on campus at my school for a couple of years, and yeah, it's like a smaller school, I'm sure, as compared to most American schools, but yeah, there's actually like stuff to do there, even if it's not partying. It's you can go play dodgeball, or you just have like weird dress up competitions and stuff like that. Like endless amounts of stuff to do. Only 900 students in the university? Oh, that's crazy. Alright, my university was not that small. It's actually giant compared to that. My high school almost hits that. That's interesting. Okay, mountain giants. We got 7, 9, 11, 13. Actually, I have a lot of damage here just with Savage Roar. 4, 6, 7, 9, 11. Huh. I just don't know how much we want to do with mountain giants coming. What to do indeed. I could also just take this out with a swipe and play Argent. Boy, I don't mind that. I can swipe and I can wrath. Yeah, do that, get the card draw. Okay, I think this is better, and then we can hit him just with this. Do we? Or do we hit him with just that? That'll put him to 15. You get 6, 8, 10, 12. Can't get the charger. He almost has to have a taunt in his hand. I'm gonna hit him with that one and chill. Alright. 95 acceptance, or 95% acceptance to med school. Oh, wow. That's why he chose it. And his coach recruited him. I see. Yeah, man, if you can get into med school, it sounds like if you just put in the work kind of thing. Yeah, that's an amazing deal. Just 1 second here. Yeah, the school I went to was like, it was decent. I went for computer science, so software development, and it was like just known as an okay place. Yeah, I don't think we want to charge. It's kind of an okay place for it. There's not really a lot here. Unless you go to like Toronto, that's known for kind of taking you to the next level or whatever. But what do we got here? If you need your real free and high quality service to increase your viewers, check stream. I shouldn't even read it out. Wow. Wow, moaning servant. HRX. Thanks so much. Those things always freak me out when I get like weird bot messages in here asking me to buy viewers. Kind of tough. We're not even threatening lethal here. Yeah, you want to become famous? That's the one that I always see. You want to become famous? Here's blah, whatever. I don't even understand the logic behind it. You want to become famous? Have nobody watch you. Nobody real watch you. It's like, isn't that the exact opposite of being famous? God, we have 12 damage. Oh, well, I guess we just draw. He's already played one Molten. Let's just smack him in the face, see what happens. It's crazy. I don't know if you've ever seen like pictures of like click farms and what they actually look like. It'll just be like one person in, you know, India or wherever, set up with this like just like rows of like tablets or laptops or whatever, and they're like just going from device to device, clicking all sorts of crap for, I don't know if it's like, yeah, subscribers, Twitter followers, whatever it is. It's just so insane to think that that's like a living in some places of the world. This guy's thinking a lot about his next move, which makes me feel good about what he's got. There's not like a program that runs. I'm sure there's some like websites and places that that just do programs for it. Shit. I think I just want like bodies on the board. But I think for the most part, like the thing is, sites like YouTube and that, they do pretty good jobs of fighting against bots and that kind of stuff. Like I don't have a lot of activity, so it's actually really easy for me to see when it happens. I'll get like a like on my video and sometimes like a subscriber, and then like a few minutes later it'll like get deleted and taken off because, yeah, or I'll get comments on my videos that are obvious spam from a bot and they'll get like auto deleted. And so what they actually want people to do over there is like go create an account and do just enough activity that it appears to be real. So like, I don't know, go on Twitter, follow a certain number of people, upload a picture, you know, tweet out a couple things, and then go follow this person, and then you're on to the next. And it's just too difficult for most things to pick up. Oh, perfect. And now we win here. Oh, just so mean. Well, we certainly redeemed things with Druid, but I think I'm gonna call it there. It's a very productive stream. Honestly, had a blast. I don't know who all is in here, but at least, yeah, Grizzled Geezer. Thanks for coming to check things out. Happy to have people, yeah, stop by. Just makes this so much more fun. So, yeah, have a good night. Anyone on Twitch, check out YouTube. On YouTube, check out Twitch. Artifacts, free game in the description of both. All that fun stuff. But, yeah, more than anything, just thanks for hanging out. And hopefully see you guys next time.